So at 10:30 this morning, I was chatting with one of my clients. He is 16 and a half kilos out of the 20 down from the goal that we're looking to achieve. And I actually know this guy from Oldham. He is an absolute machine. He is an absolute killer. But we all fall down to vices. And we were speaking today, and he was telling me how he needed to go to the shop to get his berries, his yogurt for the one of the meals we have on plan. And he was telling me how his daughter rang him and asked him, "Oh, can you pick up some stuff, some snacks for us?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." Picks up all the the nice foods that you would want, like the treats, the ice cream, this, that, and the other. And he's walking back, and he puts it down. And obviously, he's been dieting for a long period of time. Appetite is high, cravings are high. And he just looks at it and he tells me how in that very moment, he's literally looking at the devil that is saying, eat it, eat it, eat it. Go on, just enjoy it. You've been dieting for ages. And in that very moment, he stepped and he checked himself and he went, I'm not fucking eating it. And he didn't eat it. And he maintained the progress. Now that is hard to do when you've always had a sweet tooth, when you've always had that craving towards sugar. Think of the vice that you find very, very challenging to say no to now. Imagine it staring you in the face when you've been deprived of it for a period of time and you say no to it. Imagine you haven't had sex in 2 weeks and I put a 9 out of 10 in front of you. She say, fuck me now without a condom on. You will be looking the devil straight through the eyes. And if you have the ability to say no in that situation, you are a fucking incredible human because most people do not. Now, the topic of this video is why you're not losing fat, and I'm going to uncover it in one very, very simple solution as to why that is going to be. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Tom Sergey. I run the Gorilla Platoon, which is an online physique transformation program where we get results like this. Now, why you're not losing fat, honestly, is because you have not been disciplined enough to stick to the diet. Because it sounds well and easy. Here's a meal plan, go and follow it. Here's a training plan, go and follow it. That sounds easy. It's not easy because if you were already in shape, you wouldn't need the meal plan or the training plan. You would already be the guy that does the training, that doesn't eat the junk food, and that stays in shape, that doesn't drink the alcohol, that doesn't stay up late. You would already be the person. That's why it's difficult to get in shape. So when people think, oh, I'm not losing fat, I guarantee you, if I set a camera up in your place and watched it for 7 days straight, which would be pretty fucking boring and mundane to watch your existence, I can guarantee you I will find why you didn't lose body fat, and it's not your metabolism, although most people do probably trash their metabolism, low calorie, poor nutrients, loads of activity. You'll fuck your metabolism that way, of course you will, but that is not most people's issues. Most people's issues, and most people are still running the ways of basic thermodynamics, which is less energy in, more energy burnt. You will drop body fat. As long as you resistance train and eat enough protein, you will still drop whole tissue and drop body fat. The reason most people do not lose the body fat is because they do not have the discipline to do so. They cannot say no to vices consistently for a long enough period of time. If I was to set a camera up in their house, look at it the whole way through, I'll be able to stop and record and go, here we go. Here's what you did. Here's that bit of food that you didn't track and you decided to eat. You thought, but it's okay because I've trained really hard this week and I've done loads of activity and exercise, so I can eat this food here. Even though the reality is the exercise you did probably didn't burn that many calories. It just felt hard because it was exercise. And the food you're eating is probably more calories than you think it is, so that's why you're not dropping body fat. It literally comes down to basic thermodynamics as to why you're not dropping body fat. Now, what this is really about is developing your level of discipline. This is one of the pillars I develop in guys in the Gorilla Platoon. Their ability to say no when the devil is looking at them in the face. Imagine being a fucking crack addict about to get that shoot and then saying no to it. That is what we are here to develop. That is what my client, which I spoke to you in the start of the video, that is what he has showcased. Getting to that position is not easy. Not every average human being can get there. That's why most people are average, because it is hard to do. But if you look at anyone who has achieved something great, they have been through that in one specific domain that got them great. If it was physique, it was to do with the physique. If it was to do with some work or like their business or something, it was because they were disciplined in that given area of their life. Now, the reason people are not in shape is because they just cannot stomach going through that process. It is a hard process. And this is what it comes down to. The reason people can't say no and the reason people eat food when they're stressed is because they generally view themselves that when they're stressed, they will punish themselves because they still see themselves as this loser that can't like overcome this one thing. They don't think they're worthy enough or mentally strong enough to say no to the thing. But they're aware of it. They're aware they're not mentally strong enough. And I then think it's bullshit. If you cannot tell me that you're aware of something but still choose to do the opposite thing and can blame the thing, you can't at that point. The moment you understand you are the issue and that you are aware of the problem, you can do something about it. And if you're not trying to, you have no leg to stand on as to why the thing is the fault and it's not your fault. You have to understand it is your fault. Whatever the vice is, you need to attack at it to get it out of your life, or it will always hinder you down. It will always be a kink in your armor, a weakness that will hold you down. And the more further you progress in life, the more you will be tested and pressed against these things. Some of you motherfuckers cannot go 2 days without having to fucking text a girl back because she didn't text you back. Some of you motherfuckers can't even go 1 day before doing that. And that's why you don't get the girl. Because you fucking chase after her because you got no self-discipline. That example is probably the prime example for men across the fucking world. That is the one thing that they succumb to, that if they just held a bit of character and strength, you would grow so much as a person. Try it. The next time you're speaking to a girl and she airs you, don't text her back, like ever again. Watch how much you grow in the element of self-discipline and self-respect. It is fucking night and day because you've got a real human on the other end that you generally value, or you probably wouldn't be speaking to her. And you're choosing not to go and pursuing that thing. You're choosing not to go and dance with the devil. You're going to be like, no. I'm a man of discipline and self-control. I don't need to do this. I don't need to text her back if it's come down to this situation. But most motherfuckers have not got that in their arsenal, so they'll just text her anyway, and before you know it, they've chased her out of life because we know the rule. You know the fucking rule, let's be honest. Like, if you do that, you're going to chase her out of your life. It's not dating. I'm not giving you dating advice. This is not dating advice. I'm not a fucking dating coach. It's just basic human discipline and like it's just the way life works. So that's the quickest way. You want to develop discipline, do exactly that. Don't text the bitch back when she doesn't text you. Watch how much your self-discipline goes. I tell you now, that is night and day. I can tell you not to eat the chocolate. Do that first, your discipline will skyrocket through the roof. Do that enough times and you will be so fucking comfortable in your own skin, you will not give a shit who comes, who goes. You will not care because you'll be so content inside your own skin and your own life that nothing else will matter. And let me tell you, it is so easy to be disciplined when you think you are the fucking god of all gods. Now, should you tell people that? Probably not. I probably wouldn't go around saying, I am the fucking Giga Chad of all Giga Chads. Fuck all of you. That will not get you very far. I can appreciate that. But behind closed doors, in the mirror, you should look at yourself and you should hype yourself up day after day after day after day. You need to genuinely believe you are the best thing since sliced bread. And don't tell anyone this. Do not act it in front of other people and do not be an arsehole. But behind closed doors, you have to be your own biggest fan. But most of you are your own biggest critic. That's the problem. Most of you, in your own time, behind closed doors, put yourself down. Or you think of bullshit situations that could come and fuck your life up. I know this because every human being gets it. And until you grab it, harness it, and really do something about it, it will always keep you down. And you will always succumb to poor vices and stuff to cope with what's going on. Like, let's be honest. Any vice is just, it can happen fast and it solves whatever poor issue you're facing underneath. I'm not saying because you can't lose fat, you're a weak-minded individual, although it kind of seems like this video is going down that way. But if you fix that at the root cause first, your ability to say no to a piece of chocolate is going to be a hell of a lot fucking easier, isn't it? Like, let's be honest. So do the proper work first. Do the underlying principles first. Stand in front of the mirror and be like, no. I respect myself. I am fucking cool as fuck. And if you generally don't believe you are, that's because you're not doing anything about it to get yourself to the point where you generally believe that. I can look myself in the mirror and I fully believe it. I've told myself it enough times and I believe it. Again, I'm telling you this on camera and I'm telling you not to do it in person. I'm not doing it in person. I'm trying to give you the context behind it. So don't think I'm sat here going, I am the fucking best. I am, but not in the sense that I'm not trying to ram that down your throat. I'm trying to put yourself in my shoes. You understand, don't you? So That's what you need to do. You need to believe you are the best thing since fucking sliced bread. Because when something comes up, you're gonna be, I'm up here, of course I'm not gonna go and do that thing. I am up here. Obviously I'm not gonna go and eat this food because that is the caliber of people down here. And it's not about putting people down, but it is about you being like, no, I'm above this. I've done the practices to be a man of discipline. The reason I can act and speak like this is I've filmed a video every day on YouTube for the last 207 days, whatever it is. Take 3 off the total you can see on my channel. Take 3 off because 3 were shorts. That's the total of days I've done in a row of videos. So I know I can do discipline. I've been in the army for 10.5 years. I know I can do discipline, so I can fall back on that. So that's what has bolstered my ego discipline, if you will, over the time. My question to you is, what are you doing to bolster your ego discipline? And I said this in yesterday's video, and I'll say it again today. If you have nothing going on in your life where you can really train the muscle that is discipline and self-control, just run a dieting phase, just run a body recomp, because it's a free opportunity to just showcase discipline. Like, let's be honest, you walk down the street, if you live in a fairly built-up area, there'll be plenty of fast food. Or not even fast food, there'll be nice restaurants that you can go and eat at and you can smell them when you're walking. Let's be honest. And they're nice to go and eat. If I tell you not to go in any of them for 12 weeks, you will get the incessant urge to go in and destroy what is on the menu in there. You really will. And it's in that very moment you get to showcase self-control and discipline. Do you know what? Discipline's nice. I like the term self-control. Your ability to control your body through your mind, not your ability to do stupid things because of your mind. How many times, and I'll go back to using the analogy of texting the girl, how many times have you thought with your dick and thought, I'll text my ex and see what she's doing and see if anything comes up from this? And she fucking airs you and doesn't text you back. And an hour later, that urge is gone and you're sat there with your head in your hands thinking, for fuck's sake, why did I do this? And honestly, all you had to do was breathe. In that very moment, when you're about to do something stupid, just fucking breathe. Take 3 deep breaths. I guarantee you do not do the thing that you're thinking of doing. That's the quickest thing I can tell you. If you're just about to do it, I can't tell you to go out for a walk because your mind's not in that space, but just breathe. Go. And repeat that 2 more times. You will not make the mistake. But those moments are actually important because those are the moments where you get to practice self-control. You're not disciplined midway through your gym session because you're already in the fucking gym. You've already done half the session. You've got a pump. You've beat some numbers from last time. You're on the high of the session. You're not disciplined at that point. Of course you're not. You're not disciplined at the point that you're already up and you've made your bed. It's the point where you have the choice. You're sat on this y-axis of a road and you can go right or you can go to the wrong place. It's at that very moment where you get to showcase and develop self-control, discipline. And that's where the true muscle is built. It's built at the pivotal point of you being, do I go left or right? You should almost cherish those moments when they come around. But if I don't explain this to you, you would have never even thought, oh, well, I'll cherish this moment that comes around for me to get the opportunity to say no. Because your mind is not in that process. Most of the time, these things will come around when you are relaxed. When you are at night, when you've got nothing to do, when you're bored, that's when these things are going to come up and test you. And that's where you really get to see what you're made of and say no to these incessant things. But let me tell you, I honestly don't even think you need to do that much of them before you're going to get to the point that I'm actually speaking about that is the good point. Like, I honestly think if 3 times on the bounce in the last week, you can remember saying no to something, you're going to be like, I'm a guy that says no to things. I've got self-control. I'm not some loser that can't succumb to my vices. I think that will not take that long. I think if you do that for 2 weeks straight, you will not remember the old you. It really doesn't take that long. I'll tell you now, in 2020, I decided to quit social media. I would delete all my accounts, got rid of them, and I actually did. And I did not go back on it. It was May 2020, and I didn't go back on it until September 2022 when I moved to Dubai. And obviously I kind of needed it for work. If you check my Instagram now, that's where my results are on. So I do need it now for work. So I didn't go on it for that whole amount of time. In the beginning, it's very painful not to be on it. You feel like you're missing out. You feel like all the things are going on there and you need to be on it. But then the week later, that diminishes by like 50%. The week after that diminishes again. And after like, honestly, 4 weeks, you don't even remember you ever had it in the first place. That was the crazy thing. After a certain amount of time, it was like I never had the thing in the first place. Because your body and your brain just adapt to the environment, to the surroundings that you're in. So you just saying no and having some self-control to your vices, you will then get to the point where that's just who you are. I remember growing up, me and my mates, we got to a point where we were like, I don't like girls' pictures. And all of us, none of us, from that point forward, liked any girls' photos on Instagram. That was just a thing we just didn't do. We were renowned for not liking any girls' photos. And if we ever got the opportunity to see it, it would be screenshotted and you would be fucking severely roasted for such an act. So then that was just the thing. We just didn't do that. And then guess what that taught us to do? Not chase after women, like liking photos, not being dross. And it just stemmed from that one thing. That was our identity. Oh no, we don't do that here. We don't check girls' stories. It's just not what we do here. We're not that type of person. But it really doesn't take that long to get to that point. And I know this video is about why you're not losing body fat, but why you're not losing body fat is because you just cannot control your urges. You do not have the self-control to stick to something for a 12-week period as a minimum. You do not have the self-control to go to bed early enough, because in that very moment, when you're relaxed, it is a little bit more interesting to be on your phone speaking to whoever than it is to go to bed earlier. I know this because I still fight this myself. So I still, every night, have to be like, no, go to bed. You value your sleep. You're king 9 hours for a reason. Go and get in bed. And then I go to bed. But I know it's still a challenge. You will always be tested. You will absolutely always be tested. The universe will actually try and test you. Your sweet, sweet mother will try and test you when she's like, do you want this ice cream? Do you want this cornetto ice cream? And she wants it because she knows it's nice and she wants you to be happy. But she's, in theory, she's technically testing you from what you want and the discipline you need to showcase. So you will always be tested. Fuck me, women will always test you just to check you are still made of like good solid stone and wood. And that's okay, that's just the way they're built and you have to be ready for that. So you have to be okay with a little bit of uncomfortableness, a little bit of saying no to things. And once you do it enough, you will look yourself in the mirror with pride and be like, I am the fucking Giga Chad of all Giga Chads. And you will say it jokingly, but you will part mean it, and it will just develop how you see yourself. And then because you view yourself in a great manner, you will make better decisions for yourself. And then you will then cement how you see yourself, and then you'll make better decisions. And you see how it just keeps going in a nice upward trajectory spiral. Motherfuckers will sit here and give you negative shit on YouTube and it sends you in a downward spiral. I'm trying to do the opposite. I'm trying to send you up and make you believe that you can be someone of discipline. I'm no better than you. I've just been through the practice and now I'm out the other side. And now you can see I speak with confidence about this. So if there's one thing you took away from this video, why you're not losing fat is because you can't control your urges, but it is a very, very quick fix. No, that's a lie. It's not a quick fix, and it's not even an easy fix, but there is a fix for you to do that. It's just whether you want to go and do the work, and I'll leave that with you. If you found this concept useful, brilliant, subscribe to the channel, and if you want me to develop the muscle that is discipline within inside your brain, book a call, and we'll take it from there. See you tomorrow.